Canada has been a household name for higher education in India, but lately things have been shaking up. There have been some major changes and updates that international students need to know about. I love data. It resolves misinformation. Let's talk to experts, analyze news, and smartly plan your study abroad journey. Hello aspirants, welcome to Videshi Chai. Hi there. Imagine you are planning to study in Canada. You've done your research, chosen your dream university, and started your application process. But just as you are getting ready to hit that submit button on your application, you hear this. Canada is reducing the number of study permits by 35%, capping the total at 2,92,000 only. Earlier, there was no cap. In fact, more than 6 lakh study permits were issued in the year 2023. But the Canadian government has decided now to keep a cap on how many students can enter the country. This announcement, made by the Immigration Minister Mark Miller, means fewer opportunities for international students. But how does this affect you? First, let's look at Ontario, which houses popular colleges like Conestoga, Humber, and Centennial. With the largest share of international students, a 55% reduction in study permit approval is expected. So if you're aiming for a university in Ontario, expect tougher competition. If you are considering British Columbia, home to study centers like the University of British Columbia, Simon Fraser University, etc., this province is pausing new accreditations for institutions enrolling international students. And they're increasing inspections to ensure that education quality remains high. This could mean fewer choices, but it will also ensure the quality of education remains high. Now, it's time for some good news. Small provinces like Alberta, Québec, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, Labrador, and Manitoba are expected to take in more international students, meaning they are increasing capacity and offering more opportunities due to the overall reduction in permits in other provinces. Now, coming to another surprising update, the Canadian education system has changed the eligibility criteria for postgraduate work permits. It was originally set to start on 1st September 2024, but it has now taken effect from May 15th, 2024. Now, you must be wondering what the new eligibility criteria for postgraduate work permits are. These criteria state that students at certain private colleges will soon be ineligible for work permits. Going forward, spouses of students enrolled in only master's, doctoral, or professional degree programs will be eligible for open work permits. This narrows down who can accompany you with your work authorization during your studies. Now let's talk money. Starting 1st January 2024, the GIC requirement for international students applying for a Canadian study permit has been increased. Students now need to show they have access to at least 20,635 Canadian dollars, which is up from 10,000 Canadian dollars, to cover their living expenses, and this excludes tuition fees. You'll ask why all these changes. See, the government's rationale is straightforward. The rising number of international students has put significant pressure on Canada's infrastructure, including housing and healthcare. Plus, there have been concerns about the quality of education in some institutions, especially private colleges. Now, these changes aim to slow the growth rate of international student admissions, allowing for improvements in infrastructure and ensuring that educational offerings remain high quality. So, what does this mean for you? Let's break it into short-term and long-term impact. I'll discuss the short-term impacts first. The cap on study permits will immediately increase competition, especially amongst prospective students, particularly in popular provinces like Ontario and British Columbia. Universities may raise their admission standards due to the limited number of permits. Also, there will be administrative bottlenecks. Students who are already in the application process might experience delays or rejections, leading to a potential rush towards other countries. Another short-term impact will be the disqualification of private college graduates. Students currently enrolled or considering enrollment in certain private colleges will face uncertainty and may need to reassess their plans. The restriction of spouse work permits will immediately affect those who plan to move with their families. This will lead to a reevaluation of their study abroad plans. The increased GIC requirement will also impose an immediate financial strain on prospective students, potentially reducing the number of applications from middle-income families. The combined effect of reduced permits and higher financial requirements may result in a short-term decrease in the applications for the next academic intake. Now let's move on to the long-term impacts. The first one would be the diversification of smaller provinces. In the long run, students might consider less popular provinces like Alberta, Québec, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, Labrador and Manitoba, which are increasing their capacity for international students. But the number of good colleges in these areas is low, and this can be a serious bottleneck for students. This might also result in opening of more quality institutes in these provinces. Another long-term impact will be the improvement in quality of education. The focus on maintaining high educational standards and increased expectation of institutions will likely result in improved quality of education and teaching over time. Now, private colleges that lose eligibility for postgraduate work permits may experience a decline in enrollment, leading to financial difficulties and potential closures. The changes to spouse work permits might push Canada to reassess and possibly revise its policies to attract international students who plan to move with their families, balancing the need for skilled students with family support. Now, with fewer international students, there will be a reduced pressure on housing and healthcare systems, and this will allow for improvements and better support for current and future students. The slower growth rate of international student admissions will help Canada build sustainable infrastructure and enhance the overall student experience. These changes may seem overwhelming, but staying informed is the first step in navigating them successfully. Now, whether you are dreaming of studying in Canada or are already on your way, it's crucial to adapt and plan ahead. Thanks for tuning into Videshi Chai. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon to never miss out on any latest news. Drop your questions and thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Till then, keep planning your education journey wisely, stay positive, and keep chasing your dreams. See you in the next video.